And we're back with more Nerd Radio on the podcast page at WRF.com as part of the BPod Studios Network, wherever you're getting your podcast. We always encourage you guys to rate and review us on iTunes or Stitcher or Spotify, wherever you're getting your podcast, and follow us on social media at Nerd Radio 101. Al Beck!
Yes!
James!
Hi.
It's like a roll call.
It is.
This is Chuck being in here.
And constantly changing up the order in which you do it, so James doesn't know who to cut to.
Never has any idea.
No idea who to cut to.
He just
as I watch it, I can see myself like, oh, he's talking to me, and I see myself look down and find the right key. There we go.
I was gonna say, how's it going over there this week?
Actually, not too bad. Like last week, I started to get carpal tunnel in my hand. I don't know what the deal was. Like
too much switching.
Yeah. Like my hand got all cramped up because I think we had Erica in, so I'm like,
oh yeah, that's the extra.
I had 4 fingers, and then I'd move my other finger to go over to either myself or like the big general. Like the general cut of the whole room. And for whatever reason, man, my hand was like locked up. It was
you're gonna have to use
the claw.
The claw.
You're gonna have to have both hands hovering.
Yeah, it was like when I learned to pleasure myself, but with the other hand back in the day.
The stranger.
Yeah.
With the claw?
It's gonna be a rough
different
go.
Strokes for different folks. Yeah. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Sometimes the claw does it for others. Sometimes it doesn't really live up to its legend.
Well, like this week though, like because you're over there doing the directing on the Twitch stream, you're on vacation this week, and you came in to record the podcast.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure if you're going to or not, so like we just thought, we're in the Checkpoint studio, maybe we can just get one of those guys to fill in, like Joe and whoever else. But like if Joe wants to come in here and help us out, so Joe can run the Twitch stream, because I don't want to go over there and do it.
Right. Eventually, like they told us, there's another computer over there that's got like a drop system, so we could put some stuff in there. Eventually, I'd like to use that.
Yeah,
that would be fun, but that would be all you.
Yeah, well,
he's aspiring to do an actual real show, a real program, and the sound effects are played live and not in post production.
Yeah, well.
Either that, or I will be walking back and forth from this desk over to that.
I was going to say, we'll see how long it takes for me to lose my privileges over there.
Well, first we got to figure out why every time we touch the countertop, our headphones.
It buzzes.
I know.
I don't know what you're talking. I got nothing over here, man.
So I don't know, with something with us then. Yeah. Like all I did was grab the table and pull myself in, but whatever. I don't know. We're breaking it. It's brand new, and we're breaking it.
All right, so one of my favorite characters that Marvel's created over the last couple of years is the character SpiderGwen, which is an alternate reality spider person. It is in an alternate reality. What if Gwen Stacy was the one that got bit by the spider, and Peter Parker was actually the one that got killed? Mm-hmm. She was jokingly referred to as SpiderGwen in the comics, but they finally given her an actual code name, which is Ghost Spider. She's got a new series that they just started a new #1 in.
Ghost Spider.
Right. So she, at the end of her last series, had about a year's worth of storyline where she got a symbiote costume similar to the Venom costume, but with little differences. And that was one of the things I really liked about the original book, is that because it was an alternate reality, you would see Spider-Man villains like the Vulture, Green Goblin, or something like that, but you would see them in a new light. They would, they'd be shifted slightly differently, which
would be
was
the
kind of
same
fun.
but different.
Right. In this new series, because her identity has been revealed on her Earth, and everyone knows that Gwen Stacy is the Ghost Spider. She has decided to go to college in the main Marvel universe. So
Ghost Spider goes to college.
She jumps. So in order to make it to college, she jumps from her universe to the other universe using some technology, and then goes to college in the main Marvel universe, where Peter Parker is Spider-Man and Miles Morales is also Spider-Man, and then goes back to her.
This is a really complicated lead up to a comic book. My God.
Yeah, it's
like might as well take a physics course
while
you're at it.
It's a bit, but one of the things that is drastically different about Gwen is her symbiote. That is her costume is made of spiders.
Okay.
And somebody in the new issue, #1 of Ghost Spider, like she saves this family, and this little kid asks her because she has so much white on her costume, like, how do you keep your costume clean? And she's like, it's made of spiders.
That's terrifying. That's a terrifying kind of.
It's just that she's wearing a costume.
I have to put on a suit of nightmares to go fight crime right now.
Made of spiders.
I'm Gwen Stacy, the Ghost Spider.
That is horrifying. My God.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I felt like I had to share this with you guys, because much like what was it, a couple of months ago when the Spider-Man annual came out with Peter Porker. And I discovered that Peter Porker is not a pig that was bitten by a spider, but a spider that was bitten by a pig.
Oh, no.
This is just
Peter Porker makes me laugh. Just the mere mention of him every time. I love it.
It's a funny little.
It also sounds like a nickname you'd give a chubby kid in high school. You know, hey, you see
Yeah,
Peter Porker?
true.
Peter Porker over there's got extra pizza on his lunch tray. What a Porker!
Thank you so much for pointing at Chuck when you did that, because I don't think I could have handled it. I would have gone home.
It wasn't aiming at anybody's specific.
I know.
Like, Peter Porker over
But if you
here.
were pointed across the
Not
table,
like, hey, Peter Porker, you fat porking son of a bitch, why don't you eat some more pizza?
it's really weird when James got up and walked across the table and pointed right in my face. I thought that was a bit much.
and then he gave you a swirly.
Right. Yeah.
It was a real rough show.
He gave me pizza afterwards, though. That was pretty cool.
You better do my homework too, you porker.
I do love some pizza. I'll do your homework for some pizza. I love me some pizza.
Dude,
That sounds
never
dirty.
mind. I was just
The way
gonna
you
say-
said it. I'll do your
I was going to say something even worse. We're just going to move on.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
On the next segment, what will Chuck do for pizza?
Yeah.
The list is very long. There's a much shorter list of things Chuck wouldn't do for pizza.
Yeah.
So
Doing the dishes is not on there though.
no, I'll do the dishes. I'll do the dishes all day long. I did that. Me and Amy got an agreement. She does the cooking. I do the dishes because I don't know how to cook. So
I applaud you guys if you stick to that agreement.
I can wash some dishes.
I've had a similar agreement in my relationship. Obviously, hasn't really gone the way
Yeah.
it started out, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay though.
This week, the Steven Universe movie was on Monday, debuted on Cartoon Network, and I'm actually wearing my Steven Universe shirt today because I'm celebrating that I watched it last night. It was very good. It's supposed to be kind of the ending of the series.
Oh no.
I don't know that they're going to be coming back for more Steven Universe, but it was a great end. It was there were a bunch of songs like Steven Universe.
Good send off.
Yeah, and the Steven Universe cartoon, much like most of the Cartoon Network's shows, are like these 2 11-minute segments. So like each episode is 11 minutes, and then you get a commercial break, and then there's a new episode 11 minutes. That way they can vary them up. If they going back to our syndication thing. But this one was like an entire 90-minute movie with no breaks whatsoever, no commercials or anything like that. And
Wow, no commercials either.
Nope.
That's rare to find these days on any kind of a made-for-TV type movie.
Right. And they like it felt like how Disney always has like 4 or 5 songs in the movie. This had like 11.
Like it was like a musical.
It was literally
Is
a
it either
musical.
they had this in mind going into it as like a musical, or they're like, oh man, we only have like 30 minutes worth of stuff. We need 11 songs to make this 90 minutes.
Right? It's like they wanted to make sure they made an entire album if they were, if this is the last thing they were doing, I guess.
It also could be a great idea, like for marketing, to try to make a few extra bucks. I don't know how popular Steven Universe is with the kids.
Right.
And I don't know if the kids are actually buying CDs.
That's
anymore,
true. Or
so.
maybe, you're buying it on iTunes, more than likely.
So you're kind of hoping that maybe one of these songs will totally is a hit,
Be a
it catches
huge hit.
on, and
Yeah.
then we'll have 1 million
Right.
downloads of the Steven Universe. I found my butt song or whatever. You're singing about.
No, it was a fun time, and if you haven't caught it yet, I'm not going to spoil anything. But there's a new character, and she is animated differently than the other characters. So like she looks like she's straight out of like an old Disney like Steamboat Willie era cartoon, and it's really mind-blowing to watch that animation style interacting with the regular Steven Universe animation
Let
style.
me ask this, if you can tell me without spoiling anything.
Okay.
Do they kind of go down the path of like any kind of social, political commentary with this other type of animated character?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Because Rocko's Modern Life, I don't know if you watched Rocko's Modern
Yes.
Life, the remake on that, which I think
Yep.
was great. It totally hit on all the nostalgia strings perfectly.
Yep.
100%. It was like I felt like I was Sunday morning, my dad's making pancakes and sausage for
Sure.
breakfast, and Rocko's Modern Life was on in the background. But then it got into some kind of socio-political stuff that I was not expecting, but I think that they did a great job with.
I agree. I like there's a particular character who was a male in the original series, and both the Rocko's show and the Invader Zim show on Netflix deal with the fact that like they haven't had an episode in years. So like right in the first 5 minutes, there's some kind of explanation to like, this is why, this is what the character's been doing over the last whatever when they haven't gone on. But there was a character originally in the Rocko's Modern Life that was male, and this particular episode has changed gender to female. And part of the story arc is getting their parents to, accept this new version
I
of
thought it
them.
was very well. Like it totally caught me off guard. Like all of a sudden I'm watching this cartoon that I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna get a little nostalgia feels. And then I was
Sure,
like,
yeah.
Right.
oh, this is a great piece of commentary on modern time. Like the winds of change are coming to try to let people see things are different now than what they were back then.
Right. But it was really cool. Have you seen the Invader Zim one?
I have not. I don't know anything about Invader Zim other than I could recognize the character in a lineup. That's about it.
Yeah, it was. I watched it with Amy a couple of weeks ago. It was very fun. It was very good. I will never get over the fact that the creator of Invader Zim, Jonan Vasquez, got a job with Nickelodeon because he did a comic called Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, like initially, and that comic is dark.
Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
That's a James's Christmas lift.
There's hope for me after all, being some sort of a weird deranged public.
You could
pervert or whatever.
You might eventually get a job with Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I could be working with kids after all.
That is scary.
You're telling me.
Yeah. Speaking of cartoons,
I've seen what's in my closet.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, my God. James's closet. Can we do a special remote piece where we go check out James's closet?
Get Geraldo to
oh my God. Oh, yeah. Oh, my
James's
God.
closet.
Yeah.
On this episode, we go deep inside the public pervert's closet to see what skeletons are actually hiding.
Right. Oh, my God. Yeah. Think about the stuff that James puts out there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What is James
There's
hiding?
some stuff on my phone that I can't even put out on social media. And it has to do with like the gender face swap. Like
you're like, even for me, that's too far.
Exactly. Yes.
It was also, speaking of animation, it was announced over the weekend that Toonami, Cartoon Network's kind of their Saturday night Adult Swim stuff where they play all the anime. They are going to have in 2020 Uzumaki, which is a manga that was done by Junji Ito, who does strictly horror stuff. And that's something that I'm super interested in.
Have they been running trailers for that on Adult Swim yet?
Yes.
Okay, I think I've been watching some of the
it's
trailers.
all the spirals everywhere, like in the sky or something like that.
I'm not much of an anime guy, but I'm like, this might draw me into that world.
Yeah, Junji Ito has a whole bunch of like short story manga books that have some fantastic stuff. One of them involves these kids that are in school and telling each other these stories about these balloons that would have your face on it.
Okay.
And if you let the balloon like catch up with you, like people would find themselves hanging from a balloon. Ooh. Like they died.
Okay.
And that's just one of the stories. But he has a bunch of really scary stories. On Crunchyroll last year, actually, over in Japan, they did what I think they just called the Junji Ito collection. And it was these half-hour episodes that would be 2 or 3 of those short stories animated into the show. And it was real cool because some of them I'd never read before. And then some of them I was like, oh, I remember this one. I can't wait to see this creature. Or
must have had some sort of a success then if they're going to actually take it and put it now on Toonami or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. But it's something to look forward to for anime fans. But let's get to the big news this week.
We have big news.
All right.
Big news, Al!
Big news!
Big news!
Huh? What?
If we were on the drops, we could have some sort of a sound effect, but instead we'll go, big news! News!
And now, big news on Nerd Radio.
News that's big.
All right, so this weekend was AEW's
like,
All
that's
Out.
Big. I like that so much. That's awesome. Shut up, Chuck. I'm still appreciating
All right,
that.
fair.
I like that you suck.
Let me know when I can continue the show.
All
Enjoy
right,
it.
I'm done.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
It's good.
Enjoy yourself. Okay, I'm done. Go ahead.
Oh, we doing it? Okay, cool.
Now to the big news.
AEW's All Out was this past weekend. Listeners last week know that Erica was here, and
You got my.
I'm just gonna turn Al's mic off so I can get through this here.
Al has been deleted from the show.
Yeah, been removed. No, I'm sorry, because it was like, pay attention, Al. There's big news. Wrestling. Oh.
No, you're gonna like this story.
Big news for some, maybe just not for
No,
you.
it is absolutely no. It's, just because you specifically got my attention.
But because I know what's going on. This
Yeah.
is actually really funny.
Okay.
This is a very funny
Anyway.
story. So AEW.
And I didn't. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I had to interrupt you.
I was about to slam my hand down because I'm laughing, but I don't want the buzzing to come back into the headphones. I'm scared.
I'm done. By all means, continue.
Jefferson used to troll me this hard. I never expected it from you.
Oh, yeah. Hallo und willkommen. How many times do I interrupt you with German?
Okay, so last week we talked about AEW's All Out, their big event that they had in Chicago this weekend.
Wrestling.
Of course, there was StarCast, which was like all the wrestling podcasts were there, and they had a whole bunch of wrestling people. CM Punk had a thing.
He did like a panel.
He did a panel at StarCast where he said that he wouldn't not talk to Vince McMahon.
Yes.
But he's really not interested in coming back to wrestling. Kind of thing. But it's not like if he saw Vince McMahon on his caller ID, he would not pick up the phone, or Triple H, whatever like that. But coming out of All Out, their big event was the crowning of their first AEW heavyweight champion.
Mm-hmm.
It was Y2J, Chris Jericho, who I'm sure you're familiar with,
Yes,
Al, against Hangman Page, who was a younger wrestler. Chris Jericho won that match to become the first official AEW heavyweight champion.
Okay.
There's a very funny video afterwards of him backstage talking a bunch of smack.
Bubbly.
Yeah, and he gets to
Time with the bubbly.
yeah, he's got a little bit of the bubbly there. He's got some of some alcohol to imbibe with.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, after he left the arena, he
wait. Where would you go if you just became the first AEW heavyweight champion? Where would you go to celebrate, Al?
Where would I go to celebrate? I mean, I'd probably go to the comic book store, but something tells me that's not where we went.
not
You're
where Chris
hungry.
Jericho went.
Oh, I'm hungry?
Yeah.
I'm hungry. See, I unfortunately already know the answer, so.
Oh, well, damn it, Al. Damn it all the hell, Al. I didn't know you were in on the secret.
I was like, how long am I going to let this go?
Dude, I'm trying to build up. I'm trying to make some
Yeah.
suspense.
Honestly, I should have said the steakhouse to see what you.
I'd be like, oh my God.
You got it in one.
Whoa. You would
got
have
it
blew my mind, man.
First try.
Carl's Jr.
Carl
Anyways,
Jr.
continue with the story, Chuck.
Yeah, so Chris Jericho.
Steak and Shake.
After he, man, I would go to Steak and Shake. It's been a minute since I had some Steak and Shake. That's those little shoestring fries. Woo. Jericho went to Longhorn Steakhouse to celebrate and left the title in the limo. And when he came back, it was missing. He had not even had it 24 hours, and he had lost the AEW heavyweight title.
You would think though that you could. I didn't realize that full story. I knew it was a steakhouse, and actually, unfortunately, it was somebody tweeted to you, and I saw the Twitter interaction on your thing.
Oh, yeah,
and
'cause
that's
I
how I
tweeted
know
it.
about this.
Yeah, I
so
was tweeting
unfortunately, yeah,
Right.
The last episode of the podcast,
Right.
get a few more clicks in on it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Somebody responded.
And so I
about
just
that.
happened to. So the fact that you tagged me in the post is what spoiled it. So thanks for the tag, by the
See,
way.
try to help give them some exposure.
Right.
Try
You're
to help
trying
them out. And
Yeah,
smarten him up.
Ruin
but
our
you
bit.
would think you could leave it in the limo.
Yeah, you would think.
You would think.
So apparently they had to file a report with the Tallahassee Police Department. And what had happened is the limo driver had taken his bags to the airport, something along those lines, and had put the belt in with his bags or something like that. And inadvertently, everything got tossed into the lost and found at the airport. So it took a couple of days, but the AEW heavyweight title is finally back in the hands of the champion, Chris Jericho.
So it has been recovered.
It has been recovered, but
Thank God, I was worried sick.
the last I tell you what,
You sound a little worried.
the last 48 hours have been gold on social media talking about this story. People talking about like, what if Chris Jericho literally is in AEW as a plant for Vince McMahon?
Well, I feel like this whole thing is a work. Longhorn Steakhouse paid AEW some bucks to get some viral attention.
That's entirely
That's what
possible.
I feel like this could be. It's
Yeah.
some sort of a AEW trying to do some stuff differently than WWE. Hey, sponsors, here's what we can do differently. Instead of just giving you a commercial for Longhorn Steakhouse, because nobody's really going to pay attention unless we have our wrestlers wrestling to the side of the commercial like we do on
Right.
SmackDown. We are going to create something that happened at one of your establishments. We are then going to tweet about it, and then we'll see if it picks up from there. And then Longhorn Steakhouse is like, you know what? We're in. Here's some free chili cheese fries.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make me want to go to Longhorn. I just think my championship belt's going to get stolen if I go there.
Well, yeah, that's
This is
kind
where
of,
champions dine, Al. Longhorn Steakhouse, AEW heavyweight champion Chris Jericho eats their prime rib. Where are you gonna go? Steak and Shake.
Steak and Shake.
You know, you're gonna dine where the champions dine.
Yeah.
they do have this is the second.
Chipotle.
They had it at All In, and then they had one at All Out too. They do have a sponsorship with Cracker Barrel.
Do they really?
Where they had a barrel with the Cracker Barrel thing on it, like
No.
at the side of the ring.
I wonder if Cracker Barrel is associated with Longhorn. I know Longhorn
That I
think is
don't know.
owned by the same people that own Red Lobster and Olive Garden.
Oh man, I love both of
And-
those things.
Yeah, well, but they know what they're doing. That's
Yeah.
why they're the restaurateurs. That's why we do this podcast, because we don't know what we're doing.
Right.
That's why they have all those restaurants, because they know.
So
what
if that
they're doing.
parent company would like to get some free ad, or not free ad space, but we'll do a little trade. You want to give us some Red Lobster? We're in for it.
Oh, man.
Red Lobster, where all the nerds eat.
That's right. Yeah, for
Your
sure.
go-to place for nerd seafood fandom.
But people were joking about back in the Monday Night Wars, the WWE Women's Champion showed up on WCW and like dropped their title in the garbage. They're like, oh my God, if Chris Jericho shows up on SmackDown with the AEW title, oh my God. But of course, that's not what's going on here. Funny story, and talking about that Cracker Barrel thing too. They had the Cracker Barrel sponsored a triple threat match this weekend between three of the guys that were hardcore guys, and one of them.
Such a weird sponsor.
It's a very
when I think Cracker Barrel. I'm thinking like my grandma, or going on a road trip. And
I think the idea behind it is because the wrestlers, driving from town to town, need to get something to eat or something like that. A lot of them go to the Cracker Barrel, so they decided to contact Cracker Barrel corporate and say, "Hey, you guys want to maybe sponsor a match or something at this?"
it's
big
smart
event?
thinking on AEW's part.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, one of the wrestlers like took the barrel up to the top rope and then dove off the top rope with the barrel between him and like a table, and it just
I just love the idea of corporately sponsored props to use in a wrestling match.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hopefully Black & Decker does not get involved because you got drills. And you get a sex shop involved, and now you get smacking people around with dongers, which I've already done. Okay,
right.
I did it first in case any wrestling league decides to have sex toys involved and people get beat up with dongers.
Right, you were there first.
Yeah, we did that already here in Detroit. So Chuck Bean was a part of it.
I got to be the ref. It was fantastic.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I loved it so much. Thank you very much, Detroit Style Wrestling, for letting me bounce around in your ring for a minute and take a back bump and knock the wind out of myself. It's still one of the highlights of my career.
It's funny because I've always even though I haven't really been into wrestling since I was a kid, I've always wondered that same thing too, like what it actually feels like to take a bump in the ring.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah,
it's rough.
I'll just stand up and jump backwards and land straight flat on your back. That's how it feels.
Well,
those are just 2x4s on like a metal framing, and there might be one of those like high school wrestling mats in there.
I don't think I get up. I don't want to be able to get up again.
Yeah, but
that's why I wouldn't take a bump. I was like, I got this back issue, so can we just pretend like
I know that was the funniest thing is like I'm supposed to be playing the referee, and then it was you and Chuck the Freak were supposed to be doing the wrestling thing, and the guy who was I unfortunately can't remember his name, and I apologize for that. The guy who was supposed to be kind of overseeing
one of the
trainers,
like one of the trainers, one of the instructors.
Yeah, he was he kept trying to talk you guys into like, okay, well you want to, I can teach you a couple of moves if you want to make it look real, and you guys like, no, I can't like
no, let me just have him shove these cheeseburgers in my face and let the Rock Girl slide a dildo into the ring and smack me around,
right.
and then we're gonna go cut to our
Is
review.
that video still online?
Yeah, I think it is. It might be on the Riffs web YouTube channel by now.
Right,
we gotta.
That was a 2-guy 1 video game review.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look. If we can get it, we should like put it out on the Nerd Radio Twitter and Facebook page.
Relive that kind of stuff.
Since we're talking about it,
for sure.
It's a little throwback, man.
Yeah.
Did you, when you were growing up, either of you guys? Because I know Al, you saw a little bit of wrestling. Did you have any aspirations?
Well, yeah, I think did a little of that backyard wrestling with my friends. Like not like the backyard wrestling, just
Right.
But yeah, I mean, nothing I really pursued.
Yeah, nothing I thought was going to become a career, but we'd wrestle around the pool.
Yep.
I had a big pool that was like 8 feet deep, so we'd do like the rock bottom off of the diving board, or we'd try to do the Stone Cold Stunner or power bombs and stuff where we're almost coming within inches of death.
Yeah.
But I was never like, you know what, one day I'm going to be a professional wrestler because I knew I was a bitch and couldn't really handle it.
No, I remember when MTV and WWE had that Tough Enough show.
Yes, I love that show.
Yeah, I remember that.
And well, that was eye opening in a way that like I think one of the reasons they stopped doing it or stopped showing as much as they did was because like I learned how to do a vertical suplex and pick up a guy up for a body slam by watching Tough Enough.
They're showing you too much behind the scenes
Yeah,
stuff. You're letting you in too much on the kayfabe.
Watching Al Snow teach guys how to wrestle, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. And then I had a friend with a trampoline and we did some backyard wrestling.
I love that show because it combined like all the stuff that already sucks you in about reality TV, and then it combines WWE stuff. So you're seeing WWE superstars that you normally wouldn't see,
right?
Not in character or doing things that you wouldn't normally see their character doing. It was a blast. I miss it.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good.
Yeah, because I have a sort of a nostalgia connection to wrestling, so there is always a little bit of an interest. Not enough to go back and watch current stuff.
Right.
I'm not going to watch Raw this week. I just don't care. But man, like if there's like a '90s clip or something from like I'll sit and watch that, or something like I watched Tough Enough, and I don't think I was watching wrestling at the time, but there was that.
But it was just kind of.
It's still kind of.
Yeah, like nostalgia. The UFC's got a show like that's very similar to it that I get sucked into it just because it's it's a reality show and it's about dudes fighting and
But you also get seeing like how much it takes to get to that.
what kind of
that
training
point.
you have to do, how much I would never be able to do it because I'm such a bitch. There's no way I can handle all the different like just the regime of like having to eat certain things every single day and having to go in and I have no discipline.
Right.
Like I've said before, I have no discipline to stick to that.
Yeah, that was the thing. Is even when we were backyard wrestling on a trampoline or something like that, like because there was only 6 or 7 of us, I was one of the wrestlers that would wrestle. But I remember watching Tough Enough and going like, okay, I'm not big enough to be a wrestler, but I could probably be a manager.
Yeah, there you go.
Learn to take a couple bumps and then be. But at the same time, I don't know that I could talk enough crap to be a manager either. But I could
Get the little Jimmy Hart thing going.
Yeah, right. Or Bobby Heenan or something like that. Like I could grab the leg when they come by and
You practice when you play video games against opponents online and you just trash talk everybody. You'll get real good at it.
okay.
I know from experience.
All right, that's fair. Yeah, I think James would be a great manager.
Oh, James would be wonderful.
I wanted to, like, it's hilarious because so like around this time last year there was a little local wrestling league called CWL that started, Championship Wrestling League.
Yeah.
And at that same time I had talked to my girlfriend. I'm like, I'm gonna look into being like a wrestling manager. Like all I gotta do is talk trash. Might get beat up every once in a while.
Right.
I think I can handle that. And then they literally reached out about doing commentary on the wrestling thing. So I don't think anything else is gonna come of the CWL anymore. I feel like either that they hated me, I was that bad, which I know I was pretty bad. But I might look back into becoming a manager.
A wrestling
again.
manager?
Yeah.
I would look forward to seeing you at the side of the ring for sure. Well, thank you as always for tuning in for the Nerd Radio podcast here and for our stream on on Checkpoint XP. You got to look at my weird nose a little bit more.
I didn't think your nose is that weird though.
No, I don't think
that's
so.
a Robbie from Checkpoint XP thing.
Yeah, for sure.
He's very specific about his noses. He's a nose enthusiast.
But as always, I encourage you guys rate and review us on I almost said Facebook. Don't rate and review us on Facebook. Rate and review us on iTunes.
No, you go on Facebook to talk trash about us.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And thanks for tuning in. As always, we'll be back again next week around 11 o'clock on Checkpoint XP's Twitch stream. And stay tuned to their Twitch stream because they got a bunch of great shows, too.
Yeah.
They got a Dungeons & Dragons show that I believe is on Monday evenings. They talk a whole bunch of video games. They got a daily show that comes up with Checkpoint XP. It's good times, man. Just like we have. Good times.
Yes. Except more prepared.
More
Much
prepared.
more prepared.
Yeah, better content, better personalities. But we all have fun. And
They've
that's
got
what's
it all.
matters.
They've really got it all going for them.
That's the point. We have a good time. All right, that's this week's Nerd Radio.